Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Purple and Gold podcast. As always, it's Adam
This is Kevin.
coming to you with the latest Lakers content and everything that's happened in the last week since we talked to you. And just a public service announcement. We are going to record every Saturday night, and we'll have it up by Sunday evening, maybe at the latest Monday morning. So we'll keep that as consistent as possible for you guys. And like always, hit the like and subscribe button. And we're going to start off today with the game against OKC, the first game in LA. And just to give Kevin and myself a little props, we both predicted last week that we would go 3-0 this week. And spoiler alert, we did. So let's dive right into the first game of the doubleheader, if you want to call it that, against OKC, where Dennis Schroeder that night actually killed us on the perimeter. He had 31 points in 30 minutes on 12 of 20 shooting, and he really just made the Lakers look bad. And I don't know what to say about it other than the perimeter defense has been horrible lately. While the Lakers still rank in the top 5 in defensive rating, the perimeter has been bad.
Yeah, the perimeter's been really bad. I mean, when was the last time Schroeder ever shot the hell out of the ball like that?
I mean, he's had his moments in Atlanta. That's why OKC wanted him, because they thought he'd be a nice backup or six man off the bench for Russell Westbrook. But he had his moments in Atlanta, but as far as being consistent about it, never.
Yeah, I've never seen him shoot like that. I mean, you can almost guarantee that he's going to go 40, 30, maybe 25% from the field. That night, it just felt like he wasn't going to miss.
Yeah, like I said, 12 for 20 from the field, 3 for 7 from the three-point line, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist in only 30 minutes. So he had more than a point a minute, and that's an issue.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was just going to the basket and laying it up. He was actually shooting jumpers.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you want Schroeder to shoot jumpers, and he just kept making them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this is not working. We need to try something else.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot not working for the Lakers that night. I mean, they still came away with the win, 112-107, as I said. But Gallo went off 25 points on 7 for 11. 6 rebounds to go along with that. They did hold Steven Adams and CP3 to 2 and 4 points, while CP3 did have 10 assists, though. But, I mean, they kept them pretty quiet as far as, scoring went. And I feel like that's more the interior deep, because obviously you have AD, Dwight, and JaVale. So it should be easier for you to keep Steven Adams under control. And we know at this point of Chris Paul's career, he wants to drive. And watching the game, he drove a lot in that first game.
He wants to drive and he wants to get paid. So
He
had that nice little.
That money ain't going nowhere. So he getting paid no matter what happens for the next 2 years. So he's kind of taking it easy, or you would think taking it easy, because, like I said, 4 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 for 7 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3-point line in 30 minutes. And he's making almost $50 million. $40 million.
Yeah.
A year.
Forgive me. Was it the first night that we played the Thunder where he had the little crossover on Anthony Davis, or was it the second night?
I believe it was the first.
The first. I mean, that was a nice move. That was like vintage, old school Chris Paul.
Yeah, he has flashes of it, but how much of it do you think that he's just really not motivated this year either? Because he knows the Thunder aren't going any. He has the money in the bank. Why is he going to go out there and kill himself to miss the playoffs anyway? I mean, maybe pride, but what incentive does he really have to go out there than hoping to increase his trade value? But then it's going to be even harder to trade him.
Nothing at all. I mean, he still dished out 10 assists, and that's what he's best at. Setting people up, like we talked about before.
I guess if you're I don't see why CP is not doing the Andre Iguodala thing, honestly, because what does he have to gain? You're eventually going to move on from OKC. You're going to be traded for assets to a team, to a contender most likely. the biggest hurdle with that is, though, his contract, but I don't see why he's out there because the money in the NBA is guaranteed. So why are you out there other than to pad your stats, I guess, your career stats, and try to get higher on the assist leader and steal leader and all that? Like, why is he even out there?
I mean, when you remember when he was with the Clippers, he wanted the money.
Yeah,
they wouldn't give it to him.
He would always cry, and it was a big thing.
Yeah, he didn't get it. They traded him to Houston.
And in order for him to agree to go to Houston, because he could have just opted out, he had to talk to the owner and get basically like a handshake deal, like, you're going to pay me next year, right? The owner said they were going to pay him, so he's like, all right, I'll opt in, and next year you give me a max contract. But the tricky thing is the owner sold the team after that. So he got a max contract from a completely different owner.
But he got paid, and him, just like Dwayne Wade, they wanted to get paid for a long time, and they felt like it was a long time coming. So now that he has the money, there's no way he's going to do what other players have done, which is take a discount in order to get bought out. No, he's going to milk it. So whether that means that OKC is going to suck forever, or whether he's going to maybe come down on a 90-10, like, hey, I'll take a 10% cut to go to a better team.
I mean, you would think that would be the play, even if you have to give up 25, 30%. Because then, if he doesn't win a champion, from everything you've heard,
they want him to do 65.
Really?
Yeah, they want.
I didn't expect you to say that. I expected you to say he's not settling for no 70%.
65 is a huge cut.
That's 35%.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm not doing that.
What's his legacy going to be if he doesn't do it? He'll never win a championship. And I love CP3 as a player. He's one of my top 3 all-time favorite players. My top 3 favorite, not who I think is best, is Kobe, Carmelo, and CP. So I look at his career, and I don't do it in a hater way, but if he doesn't take a buyout, what's his legacy going to be? One of the greatest point guards to never win a championship, along with John Stockton. Gary Payton won in Miami, but, I mean, he didn't really play in that 06 series at all. He was already 40-plus. I mean, we saw what he did with the Lakers in 04. He won one 2 years later. So can you really count? No. But you get what I'm saying? Like,
I think he'll be considered one of the greatest floor generals of all time, but nothing more. He might still even make the Hall of Fame because in basketball,
he's gonna be a surefire Hall of Famer. I'm not questioning that. But you and I talk a lot, like, not even just doing the podcast or anything, but we talk a lot pretty much regularly, and you're always mentioning to me rings, like, if he doesn't have a ring, then what's that on me? Now his legacy, if he takes the buyout, he takes the buyout and he signs a minimum contract with the Lakers, comes here and wins a ring. This is pie in the sky, I'm not hoping for it or anything, but it's an example. Comes here, wins a ring, while he's still somewhat effective. Okay, now his legacy is completely different. Now he's looked at as one of the greatest point guards ever. Obviously, he's not going to be better than Magic. He's not going to be better than a lot of point guards that are out. But you remove yourself from the never won a championship category and put yourself. That championship goes a long way.
I mean, he has to get out of the second round. He's never been outside the second. He
got to the conference finals with Houston one time. Yeah,
you're right. You're about that. But
but other than that, he's like Melo. He's been to the West Finals one time. Other than that, hasn't done anything. He's
gonna be more known for those State Farm commercials than he is for winning any championships.
That's why I'm saying, he might be smart to look. He's giving up a lot of money now, 35%, but it's 35% of $90 million. So he's still coming away with about 60.
Yeah,
$60 million. Plus, I'm sure he's not struggling for money or hurting for money. It's still generational money. Plus, you're gonna make $2 million on your veteran minimum contract. Okay, big whoop. But you're winning a ring. You're putting yourself in a position to win a ring at least.
That's a huge cut, though. Imagine. Come on.
But we're normal people, Kevin.
Imagine your check when you're on a What was his contract? He said 60?
It's about $45 million a year.
$45 million.
And
Imagine
he has
your
2
check.
more years left on it. So we'll call it $45 million times 2 is 90.
Yeah. And then you take a veteran minimum for $2 million. Oh.
But do you really think he's looking at his check like that? Like,
I would.
Yeah, you would, but guess what?
I do right now.
Yeah, bro, we're normal people. We are normal people. Like, we're not millionaires. We're not superstars or anything. Like, we're normal people, working, taking care of our families, paying the bills, and having a little bit on the side to, for fun or whatever. But when you're making, as long as he's been in the league, okay, he's been underpaid for a lot of his career. He's still been a multimillionaire since he was 20. Excuse me, since he was 21. Because he wasn't a one and done. I think he went to Wake Forest for 3 years or 2 years, something like that.
There a while.
So by the time he turned 21, he was a multimillionaire. I've never seen $1 million in my life, and I wish I could. But he's been a multimillionaire. Like you said, he has State Farm. You think they're not paying him?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he has Jordan Brand. You think they're not paying? Like, you think he's just taking, like, peanuts everywhere? Like, bro, he still has... And your legacy is to me, is the biggest thing you have. Because it's not so much about it's about your name and what you leave,
Yeah.
So that's just how I look at it. Maybe I have a different aspect or way of looking at things than other people, but to me, I don't know. I think he would be smart. Now, it's going to cost him, and it's not an easy thing to do to walk away from that type of money. I understand, and I'm not trying to play that down or anything, but looking at the bigger picture, I think he might be smart to take a buyout and try to win a ring somewhere, even if it's not with the Lakers.
I just feel sad for that entire Banana Boat crew.
Yeah, it didn't end well for Melo. Well, Melo's back in the league, but
non-guaranteed.
Yeah, he might get cut, but
Dwayne Wade out the league.
After he went to Cleveland to try to team up with LeBron, that's really when D Wade found out he wasn't a starter no more.
Yeah.
After that first 10 or so games in Cleveland, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, I need to come off the bench for J.R. Smith of all people."
I mean, theoretically, LeBron is the last man standing.
Yeah, I mean, and he.
And if you ask me, the main reason is because the game changed. The game became more 3-point oriented. So now you have guys like Chris Paul. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He can do it, but it's not really his game. Melo, efficiency has never been part of his game.
No, and he's always been mid-range. Like, yes, he's one of the greatest pure scorers alive and that's ever walked the earth, and he can get buckets up there with anybody. But you're making a great point as far as the game today doesn't fit him. Melo, he's not necessarily physical or tough enough in my mind to have played in the 80s, but his style of play as far as shooting mid-range and pinch post and kind of using his strength a little bit, that would have fit better in the 80s. But even though he didn't fit in the 2000s, Melo's an all-time great.
Like, imagine if Chris Paul gets bought out. He comes to the Lakers. What role is he really going to play?
Starting point guard.
I don't know.
I was starting a point because you and I always talk about how we need to lessen load on LeBron. He has a proven track record that he can do such and bring the ball up. Small, minor things like that is going to help lessen load. He can run the offense. LeBron can get more back cuts and easy dunks and layups and lobs. And also, LeBron trusts him.
I like the offensive side of Chris Paul. The defensive side is where...
Oh, it's atrocious, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you put him in the post, he'll surprise you. He'll do better than you expect. But I've always thought that he was like a crafty defender more than a good defender. Like, he'll do something dirty to get himself out of a jam.
Oh, no, Chris Paul is kind of dirty, though. I will say that as well.
Yeah. So I just don't see it. At this point, I probably would rather have Rondo, even though I know he still has the mid-range game that he can pull up, and he's better at it than Rondo. But Rondo has been known for being a good defender, especially when the playoffs come.
Yeah, but Rondo isn't a good defender now. And I love Rondo, too. Like I said last week, my favorite current Laker. I have a lot of favorites. That's weird. But I like Rondo a lot, too. And but his defense is not up to par with what is now. Come play because we didn't see playoff Rondo last year with the Lakers, obviously because they didn't make it. But I'm looking forward and excited to see playoff Rondo. But I'm not entirely sure that it's going to be all that it's cracked up to be. And I would love to see, hypothetically, again, pie in the sky, if CP got pot out.
CP3 on the Lakers.
CP on Lakers are in starting point.
Maybe next year.
And have, when the contract is a little bit easier to work around,
right.
you don't have to give up as much. Yeah, take 35% of this year.
I need some affordability.
Yeah. But could you imagine CP as a starter and then Rondo coming off the bench? So you have your starting backcourt CP and Danny Green, and then you have Rondo and Avery Bradley coming off the bench, which is stings because, and we're going to talk about
I don't think you can have both.
later.
I don't think you can have Rajon Rondo and CP3.
Why is that?
They play the same role.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the tension that they don't like each other.
Well, outside of that,
Rondo
I mean, I know they don't
that
like each other.
Piece, yeah, last year.
But,
so, I mean, if looking at it from like...
Didn't he spit in his face?
That's what Chris claims.
I remember that replay shows spit.
There's some replays where I look at it and I can see, but then there's others that I look at it and it's like at different angles, so it's like so slick that like you can't. But then that's what Chris Paul poked his forehead. Bro, imagine if I got up and just poked you in the forehead.
They're
right
both
now.
dirty players.
Yeah,
but still, you don't spit in a man's face.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying
what Rondo did last night.
Oh yeah, he kicked him. Kicked Shooter in the man area. Yeah.
It's constant.
Yeah, that's why he got that flavor too.
And I don't even understand why he does it. That's my problem. Why? Like, it's not even necessary.
The long running thing about Rondo is that it's something mental with the way he ticks. I've heard rumors just saying he's on the spectrum.
Look,
so I mean, I don't know how true that is. I'm not gonna say anything about because I don't know him like that. I don't know the nitty gritty of it all and whatnot. But that's just what I've heard. You can take it for what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if he is, it's not an excuse to. Because I see both sides. If I was Chris Paul and he spent, I would have did a lot more than poke him in the forehead.
Exactly.
But I can see Rondo's side too. If another grown man is yelling at me, degrading me, and then is like to the point where they're pushing their index finger in my, I'm gonna swing too. So I'm not saying either one of them is right, but I can see both sides.
I would have respected a swing
from Chris Paul first.
No, like if he was putting his hands in my face and you swung at him in the face, hey.
Well, Rondo caught him after CP started poking his head and whatnot. Rondo caught that first one, caught him, and then that's when the scuffle broke out, and the second one was just kind of.
But the spit,
man,
come on.
I'm not saying it's justified at all, but I mean.
So you can only have one of them.
Yeah, realistically, because that's gonna be an explosive locker room.
Oh my God!
If they're both there, but
talk about Hollywood.
Let's talk about fantasy basketball. Like that. That would be a dream. Like. All right, moving on to game two. Okay, see, because we're trying to keep this under 2 hours this time. We've been keeping you guys long. So game one, Schroeder went off. Steven Adams had a good, Gallo had a good game. Yeah. Who was part of that Carmelo Anthony trade back in the day.
Yeah.
From New York to Denver.
I wasn't that upset that Gallo had 25 because I've seen him do it before.
And he can shoot the lights out.
Yes, he can.
He can shoot, yeah. So, I mean, but Schroeder, 31 off the bench in 30 minutes. Nerlens Noel, 15 and 8, 7 for 11 shooting. That's the inside. That's the perimeter. That's AD, Dwight, and JaVale. Yeah. How do you let him get 15 and 8 off the bench in 24 minutes?
Noel, he's got springs.
He's got springs, but he's going up constantly anytime he's on the floor. One, if not, most likely two of those big men are there. And I get fatigue and things like that, but AD is 26, bro. JaVale is maybe 30, and Dwight, okay, he's kind of older.
Yeah.
So that's a quick wrap-up for Game 1. Lakers win 112-107. We're going to move on to the game in Oklahoma City against the same Thunder team. So if you don't really want to hear about the Thunder, I'm sorry, but you
And this is very rare that you'll play a team on Tuesday and you play the same team on Friday.
It's still annoying. It's very rare.
Yeah.
But I don't know why the NBA implemented that into. I don't know.
Who knows?
Second game, Lakers come away with the win on the road in OKC. This score was 130 to 127. A lot closer. Both games, watching them, both games were tight games for the Lakers, and they really had to fight. This one in OKC was a lot closer.
You can tell they played a lot better at home. They played very well out because the first time their bench pretty much just outscored our bench, and that's what kept them in the game. This time, I felt like their starters, like every one of their starters, had at least 11 points. I mean, look, Gallinari had 15.
Shea
Steven Adams
24.
had 22.
CP actually did something this game with 18, 7, and 4.
Yeah. So I mean,
assists went down a little bit, but he was scoring a lot more.
Something that people have always been saying to him. Like sometimes you actually need to score, a.k.a. Lonzo.
Man, don't. That's disrespectful to Chris Paul. Why are you mentioning Chris Paul and Lonzo in the same breath?
Score the ball.
Bro, it's complete. Their games are completely different.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
but sometimes CP3, if he could just like stop trying to set people up and just be active in scoring, he'll make himself a threat.
Yeah, that's I agree with that point. Everybody said it since 2006 when he came out.
Yep.
Now there's games where he'll be aggressive and he can do that, and that's why people are just like, "Yo,
like, whoa."
Yeah, but he's kind of more passive. He's more of a facilitator.
Yeah, and
he doesn't. He's not a T-Mac or Kobe or AI or Jordan who wants to go out there and score and get buckets.
Yeah, I mean, but then the problem becomes,
but
I'm just going to play the passing lane. I'm not going to worry about him scoring. I'm just going to play the passing lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious problems, but it's just not in his makeup. And a zebra can't change the stripes. Yeah. Cheetah can't change spots or whatever this phrase is, you know. I've heard both of them, so. Or was it leopard? I don't know. One of them spotted cats, bro. They can't change. Yeah, but the second game, as you said, all the starters had big games, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had the biggest. He was 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, on 10 for 18 from the field, 2 for 2 from the three-point line. And he played 36 minutes.
Yeah, he was hot.
And he had but his plus-minus was -3. All the starters on Thunder in the second game, they all had a minus.
It was a well-rounded game.
No, look at the plus-minus for the second game. Gallo was -13. Adams was -4. CP was -12. Terrence Ferguson -8. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander -3. That's their starting 5. All in one negative.
They still did pretty well off the bench.
Yeah, Baisley had +10, Schroeder +9, and Hamidou Diallo, who won the dunk contest here in LA a couple of years ago, was +5. And then Muscala +1, but I mean,
he didn't do much.
Yeah, Nerlens Noel did not play because apparently he was sick.
He was sick.
It says DNP sick.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Jordan played through the flu, quote unquote. I think that was hangover, but
that was in the playoffs. I get that.
That was in the finals.
I get that. It's a regular season game,
but still,
yeah.
You sick, poor baby. You make millions of dollars. Take your butt out there and play.
The only people I will look, if you're sick and you're a professional athlete, you shouldn't play. But at the same time, if you're barely on the team, you better play.
Yeah, you can't afford to take any off days because.
If you have a max contract, I'm going to sit my butt down. I'll be happy about it, too.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that's what the league or owners want.
Yeah.
I get, but again, this is one of those Chris Paul and Rondo things that if you put yourself in each side's shoes, you can see each side's argument, and you can't really say that either side is wrong.
Yeah.
But I still feel like they should play. Like, I respect that more if you go out there and you play her, because I saw Kobe play through torn rotator cuffs, torn ligaments in his shooting hand. Hell, when he tore his Achilles, he still walked up to the free throw line, took his free throws, and then went out. Like, So maybe that's just because I watch Kobe and I just think everybody should do that. But I don't. I just respect it a lot more.
Well, Nerlens Noel is on a 1 year, $2 million contract.
So basically,
you should play.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, you need to play every game.
Yeah,
all 82.
Poor baby. Take some Pepto-Bismol or something. And for the Lakers side of things, because that was a sloppy game, bro.
They're both sloppy games. Both of them.
AD had 33, 11, 7 assists, 1 steal, and surprise, surprise, no blocks.
No blocks, but he almost had a triple-double.
Yeah.
I mean,
he did everything else, but you kind of, watching how the season has been, you'd expect him to have at least 1 block. But no blocks. I understand things happen, so I'm not going to harp too much on that. Otherwise, he played pretty well. 9 for 19 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3, bro. He took 7 threes and he made 4 of them.
Yeah, which has been very surprising and much. I mean, it's been needed the last few games.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, he's going against Steven Adams. Steven Adams, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
he's
you want to stretch with that, especially because AD knows how he himself plays and his body, and he's verbalized to the Lakers and Laker fans many times, look, I don't want to be down there in the post banging with these bigger dudes. That's why he didn't want to play center. That's
one guy that nobody wants to bang down with.
Yeah.
Steven
Adams is one of the strongest dudes in the NBA.
He's like a brick.
Yeah. Also, what I think is surprising and underrated, 11 for 11 from free throw line. It's amazing what AD has been doing from free throw line this year.
Yeah, he should really be up there for the.
He's in the high 80s, low 90s for free throw percentage.
He's got a really nice stroke though. Like if you watch him actually shoot the ball, it looks pretty.
And that's what the Lakers have been telling him more recently. Like, look, we want you taking 5 to 7 threes a game. When you catch it, stop. You got the green light. Go up and take it. Yeah. If you miss it, you miss it. We'll live with it. But we want you taking at least 5 threes a game.
That's a lot, though. I don't know about 5.
Well, to jump forward just a little bit, tonight he took 6, and he was 3 for 6.
That's pretty.
And then that's coming off of 4 for 7. So if he's making about 50% of them,
taking into account he's going to make about 50% of them, it doesn't sound that bad. But he does his work in the paint like no other.
Well, there was a couple of plays against the Thunder in the second game where he had an and one on a 3. He had a couple of 4-point plays. Against OKC.
Was it Steven Adams that ran into him?
I don't remember what players ran.
I believe it was Steven Adams. He was taking a corner 3.
I know there was one in the corner and there was one earlier in the game from the wing.
He has no stop button. He can't slow down.
But I mean, he's making about 50% of them, and he had a couple where it was a 4-point play.
I mean, he's putting in work. I mean, he's doing it. Look, I have no problem with Anthony Davis whatsoever. I don't have any problems with LeBron James. He's playing phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's everybody else.
Kind of. But I feel like that's the problem that I talked to you earlier about in the season. Like, they don't have that established third star, and they don't necessarily even have to be established in the league. Just establish yourself on the team that, like, LeBron eats first, AD eats second, however you want to do it, vice versa, flip it if that's what you prefer. But I'm eating third, and I'm about to go get mine after them. And now you look up, and that's 65 to 75 points between 3 players. Y'all roll guys, that's when they can start to step up at different times and different nights. They don't, while Kuzma has been playing better, the injury to that eye might set him back because
it looks like
he looked fine against OKC the second night. Shot 4 for 6, 1 for 3 from 3-point line. But I still don't really feel like he's quite established himself on the team as i.e. third. And they're still running with that, well, our third option from night to night could be any given player, and I don't think you can sustain that. You get what I'm saying?
For those 3 or 4 games, he was hot. I mean, he was hot. And it looked like he was establishing himself. Yeah. And then
that
He got hit in the
freak
eye. I mean,
injury.
it was
Yeah,
a nasty.
he
one.
had to. That was in the first half of the first game against OKC, and he had to sit out the entire second half. He came out right when it happened. Like his whole eye was bleeding. It was swollen shut damn near, and
Yeah.
but he still shot pretty well in the second game, wearing goggles, which shows you off. But
I honestly thought he was going to be out for like weeks.
yeah, you texted me that like that might be a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And it could have been.
Yeah, if I was bleeding. Like,
I think what happened was he got caught like right in the bags of your eye.
oof.
And somebody like dude's nail was a little bit too long and just scratched him. But if that would have like poked his like eye, like it could have ripped his cornea, like, and then now you're talking like you need eye surgery.
Yeah. What's funny is that I was watching the game with my wife, and she's like, you know what the NBA needs? They need to make sure that players have their nails cut. They should all be the same, and there should be no ifs or buts about it. This is unacceptable.
You know what's funny? She kind of has a point because I was listening to Alan Sleeva on the post game at the night that happened to Kuz, and he was talking about how Michael Thompson said that players in his 80s, if for all those that don't know, Michael Thompson is Clay's daddy. He played for the Lakers in the 80s. He was number 1 overall pick by Portland. Went to San Antonio. Came to the Lakers. Played with Showtime. All that. He was talking about players in the 80s. Some of them would strategically have long nails.
Oh.
Yeah, just to kind of like be able to do some dirty stuff like that, you know? So
I've never liked dirty players.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
I heard
I have a
that and
problem
I'm
with
like, that's
Rondo
kind
being
of
on the team.
low. Like, there's times where I let my nails get a bit long just because I don't bite them. But most of the time, I'm biting them. So I always, not most of the time, I have short nails anyways. But like, I don't let my nails grow just for like, they literally were thinking like, oh, I'm going to let my nails grow so that I can, when I grab and hold, okay, I cut them a little bit, you know. I'm like, you playing basketball, bro. Like, it's not that serious.
yeah, you shouldn't be out there trying to hurt somebody else.
Yeah, but
I mean, I really felt like Kuzma was establishing himself as that third star, and then he gets injured, and here we are finding ourselves back in the drawing board.
I agree that he was establishing himself, but even though he's establishing, he was, and it's going to probably take him a couple more games to get back to where he was building to be at, because this is a setback. When you look at it currently, they don't have that. And you can tell me Kuz is establishing himself, this, that. Okay, but that's nice. What do we actually have right now, though?
We have KCP.
That's not established.
He's killing it.
Like I said, don't go to the rim. Don't go to the rim. You know what he's not been doing the last few games? Not going to the rim. And what's he been doing?
He's gone to a rim a few times, but you know he's killing it. He's killing it.
He had 17 in the second game against OKC. Yeah,
4 for 5
plus 6.
I'll take
He had
that
5
any night.
rebounds. That's surprising. 5 rebounds, 2 steals, or 2 assists and 1 steal. So I mean, the 5 rebounds is I'm not one of these Lakers fans that's like, oh, we need to trade KCP. Yes, I've talked about it and entertained it a little bit, talking about the 8th grader or whatnot, Bronny Jr., whatever grade he's in right now. But when we're talking realistically, I do like KCP. I do think he's been harped on a little bit too much, but I don't want him going to the rim. He was 5 for 9 shooting, 4 for 5 from 3.
Yeah.
I like that because the one that he made that wasn't a 3 was probably a mid-range 2. And the other 3 that he missed, besides the 3-pointer, were probably layups.
Yeah. You know what he shot?
Just don't go to the rim, bro. No, what did he shoot?
He shot 5 of 9 and 3 for 4 from 3.
So damn near the same.
Yeah. And then the next night, 5 of 9 and 4 for 5 from 3.
And I haven't noticed him going to the rim that much.
Look,
Look,
he's
bro.
been playing brilliant basketball.
KCP, keep doing your thing. Keep doing what you're doing. Just don't go to the rim, bro. Please don't go. I'm a diehard Lakers fan. I watch every game. I can't stand to see you go to, like I said last week, wide open, fast break, nobody's down. Okay, yeah, go to the rim and dunk that. Get your little highlight or whatever. If there's, I don't care if it's a point guard from the other team. If there's anybody back in that paint, just pull up. because I have a lot more confidence in his mid-range or his three than I do him going to the rim.
Have you noticed that when he's shooting better, he's not defending one of their best perimeter players? I think that's what it is with him.
You think it's the fatigue?
I think he's getting fatigued. Because tonight he wasn't guarding John Morant all by himself. I mean, LeBron had to switch on John Morant. He was, oh my God. We'll talk about that later. But tonight again, 3 of 6 and 3 of 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3.
Right.
I mean, he's been having a lot of solid games, and that's exactly what I want from him.
Yeah, me too. As long as he's not attacking the rim. I can't stop saying that. Just, bro, I love you, Casey. Well, I don't love you. I like you. I don't like your contract.
I like you.
Yeah, but please stop going to the rim. All right. So, quick recap. Lakers 130, Thunder 127. Finally, we don't have to look at them anymore for a couple weeks, I hope. A couple months, maybe. A while. Lakers, after that win, moved to 13-2. Best record in the NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went off the second game. Steven Adams had a bigger game at 22 points. CP3 had a bigger game at 18. All 5 Thunder starters in double figures. But nonetheless, Lakers come away with the win. Do you have anything else to add?
No. We don't see the Thunder again until mid-January.
Okay, so yeah, about a month and a half.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to come out with some fire because they'll want to get
That's fine, as
W.
long as we don't have to see them again for a while, because I'm tired of watching Thunder basketball.
And we were saying, the Thunder, they're not a bad team.
Yeah, no.
They just don't have any stars.
They're very good. They compete every night. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
And just for the simple fact that they compete every night, they can very well be about 500.
Yeah. So
They're not going to be, because there's going to be some close games like the last 2 against the Thunder or Lakers for them, where they do end up losing. But if you compete in the NBA, you have a chance to be 500 at least.
True.
Just because half the teams.
If you take a night off.
Yeah, exactly.
If you take a night off, the Thunder will beat you.
If you come in and if you're Thunder, you come in and compete every night, at the end of the season, they're going to be about 35, 40 wins. For this squad, it's not bad.
Yeah, because they have at least one impressive win.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the 76ers.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
Again, that's something that we talked about before the podcast. Thunder all their wins have been at home.
Mm-hmm.
Their 5 wins have been at home. They have not won a road game. You were surprised by that when I told you that. I was surprised when I found out. But that's they're a great home team.
I think their crowd gets behind them. Mm-hmm. They have that college-style stadium.
We're not sitting down until you score a bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all very engaged. And even when it's a bad team, they still do this. They've done that every year that they've been in OKC. And one last thing before we move on from OKC. How weird is it that Chris Paul started his career at OKC and is now playing in OKC as he started his career, for all those that don't know, he was drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans, or New Orleans Hornets at the time, I'm sorry. When he was drafted, they were going through the whole Hurricane Katrina thing, and they were playing at OKC at the time.
Yeah.
So his rookie and sophomore season, I believe it was, he was playing for the New Orleans franchise, but they were displaced, so they were called the New Orleans / OKC Hornets. And his whole thing about wanting out of New Orleans is, I want to get to a big market. He gets to LA, he goes to Houston, and now his career has come full circle where he's in OKC Thunder.
See, that second part is not his fault.
It's not his fault, but
he should have been a Laker.
Yeah. He was a Laker for about 3 hours. I blame Jim Buss for that, though. I don't even blame David Stern. I blame Jim Buss because Jeannie
making the move without telling nobody.
Jeannie has come out and said since then, if he would have told me, because Jeannie had just came out of the owners' meetings, she was like, if he would have told me, I would have said, don't do it yet. I would have smoothed things over, give it a couple days, and then we'll process it, send it to the league, and everything will be fine because I will have done the legwork with the owners. Jim didn't tell her about it. the first Genie heard about it was the same that you and I heard about it. And that was hours after the team owners came out about big teams are always poaching small market teams, stars, and now
the Lakers are going to be the Globetrotters.
And we were saving cap space in that deal. Yeah. It was a better deal than what New Orleans at the time actually ended up getting.
I felt like we had the better deal than the Clippers.
Yeah, we had the better deal, but the thing was we were getting a superstar, and in the process of doing so, we were saving cap space. Coming out of a meeting where small market owners are like, well, the big markets are taking all our star players.
Yeah.
We're basically a farm system for them. We're drafting them. We're developing them. And then they come in and steal them and win championships.
That's your fault.
But
and I know it's
Dan
your
Gilbert
fault,
wrote a letter. And
I know. But look, if you have stars and you do nothing with your stars. Exactly.
Yeah.
If you do nothing with your stars, that's your fault.
That's
your fault. Step your game up.
I agree. But at the same, this is why we didn't get CP3.
Yeah.
And if you want to look into it's plenty of stuff on YouTube, plenty of articles. Google CP3 LA Lakers and you'll find something.
I have no sympathy for small market teams.
Yeah, neither do I.
No.
All I care is about getting me another trophy and tying the Celtics in the passing. That's all I'm saying. That leads us to today against the Grizzlies. Memphis.
Oof.
Always been a tough place for the Lakers to play. They came out, by the way, side note, they came out wearing the throwbacks to the Vancouver days, and they had the old school Vancouver court with the bear. I loved it.
I didn't even care for it.
I thought it was dope. I loved it. But that's enough about that. They played the Grizzlies tonight. Lakers barely come out with the win, 109-108, to push them to 14-2.
Can we just talk about Ja Morant?
Yeah, I'll let you start with that before I go off on Lakers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You can go off on the Lakers, but this boy is special. I mean, okay, so there was about 3 or 4 highlights that were just, I was blown away. I mean, I actually tweeted out he's going to be better than Zion because Zion doesn't have the agility that Ja Morant has. I mean, there was a time when he was running down the floor, and he's already fast, and he pushes the ball to one of his 3-point shooters in the corner, and the ball got there so quick. I was like, Jesus Christ, you can't steal that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just has this innate ability, and that's a pass from a 4, 5, 6 year veteran that he's making his rookie season. He had another one where he's driving down to the rim, and he's got 3 defenders around him. He fakes out Kyle Kuzma, almost does a Euro step and just lays it in. I was like, oh my God. I was like, someone...
Excuse the obnoxious street racer in the background.
And then the best one, save the best one for last. When I think he's coming off a pick. He's driving to the rim. He's got Kyle Kuzma again. Everybody knows Kyle Kuzma's not the greatest defender. And then he's got Dwight Howard. He lays it up and under Dwight Howard and gets a foul.
That put him up by, I believe, 5.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, the kid is nice.
Yes.
The kid is very nice.
Oh.
You want to know something interesting? If you got more to say.
There's one more.
Mm.
It wasn't as nice as that one, but he was driving. I forgot who he was driving. I'm not even paying attention to the defender at this point.
Yeah, you're just looking at him in awe.
Yeah. He stops on a dime. And usually a lot of guys do that Michael Jordan push off, or they kind of push you off with their shoulder, or they try and do a
Take the palm of their hand, put it in the bottom of your back.
Yes, that was not necessary with him because he's just that quick. He stops on a dime. He pulls back, and all I could think about was, just please miss that shot. Just please miss that shot, because maybe you don't have that in your arsenal right now, but I knew the day he does have that shot in his arsenal, it's over.
Wrap, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't be running past people and then stop on a dime and just pull up. Luckily, he missed a shot, but still, it was amazing. It was the first time I was like, I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen a basketball player with this much athleticism since Kobe. just his agility. Yes. The way he was moving, the way he could get from one side to the other side, he can use both hands. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've said enough.
He's special. He's special. You want to know something interesting? During the game, Stu Lance and Bill McDonald, the Lakers television announcers. I'm sorry, I was thinking the Lakers television announcers for Spectrum mentioned that they spoke to Ja Morant, or somebody spoke to Ja Morant and asked him about his game, and he said he developed his game to be a combination of Rajon Rondo and Russell Westbrook.
That's interesting. He's a better shot.
Now think of them, both of them, yes. But think about Rondo's intensity and prowess on defense, and then Russell's ability to play 48 minutes like his hair is on fire. Yeah. And his speed and athleticism and aggressiveness attacking.
Okay, I get that, but okay. The only thing I'll give him, he's way more under control.
Yeah, I'm not saying he is these players, but he modeled his game like
he's a better version of them.
Yeah, these are aspects that, like, he basically said, look, I want to take Rondo's defense and passing ability, and I want to combine that with Russell's intensity, aggressiveness, and athleticism.
Yeah.
And then, so now I hate to use this phrase, but those two players had a baby, but then he also added a jump shot to it all. So he kind of threw in his own little flavor and he's faster in both of them. I think he might be as fast as De'Aaron Fox and John Wall pre-injury.
Yes.
Because I don't think John Wall is going to be as fast as he was before he tore his ACL and had all the knee issues. But De'Aaron Fox, is still lightning quick. And I think John Morant might be quicker.
Oh, he was running past
just watching
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was a blur.
Yeah, and he has that killer mentality. He's already had big shots against the Nets this year. He had one against the Lakers in the closing seconds. There's been a few teams where he's had big shots. He's averaging 18 and 7 for the year. First among rookies in scoring and assists. He's shooting about 40, I think I saw 43% from the field, which is 7th among rookies. And he's also 7th among rookies in steals. And he's only 19, something like that.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there. I personally think he'll be better than Zion.
Okay, I'm not worried about Zion. My question is, De'Aaron Fox or John Morant?
That's a tough one.
Because they're both, in some ways, kind of similar as far as speed, ability to attack the rim left or right. They both can shoot a little bit.
I would still take John Morant.
See, I'm with you, but it's very hard for me just because I've seen De'Aaron Fox for 3 or 4 years now, and I like De'Aaron Fox's game, but from what I've seen from John Morant in these 2 games that I've only seen him play the Lakers.
Oh,
and he's played them twice now.
I still would take John Morant because he's a better shooter. Mm-hmm. And
that's the thing that's lacking from De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. He can shoot a little bit, but he's not consistent yet.
No. And you can see if John Morant's already a good shooter, in a few years he's going to be a great shooter.
Right.
As long as he stays in the gym and stays focused. But
plus he has a defensive mentality, like he said. He modeled his game after Rondo and Russell Westbrook.
I mean, he stole the ball from LeBron James more than one time. He was amazed. I was being amazed, and he was frustrating me at the same time. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was watching a football game, and I was on fantasy.
Yeah,
and he was playing for the other team. I was happy and I was mad at the same time.
Yeah, he's something else. Can I throw him to the Lakers now?
Yes. Yeah, you can go off on the Lakers.
Okay. Terrible. First half. First possession, they came out with a turnover. Granted, they caused a turnover, so Memphis won the tip. They stole the ball, and they took 2 dribbles of court, and they had it stolen right back. They came out very flat, as I talked about in the first episode of the season, of the podcast, our debut episode, they always seem to come out a little bit flat in the first half. They were down 10 plus points for the entire first half. At one point in the third quarter, they were down by 15. How is Anthony Davis and LeBron James, 13-2 Lakers, down by 15? I get it. Road game, second back-to-back. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Where's the talent at? Who are you watching on the floor? You mentioned Ja Morant. Is there anybody else on Memphis that you were impressed with?
No.
Okay. Ja Morant, a rookie, is beating LeBron James and AD.
Look, he is not a normal rookie.
As great as LeBron James, who is in the GOAT conversation, I don't believe that, but lots of people out there believe he's in the GOAT conversation. And Anthony Davis, who last time played the Memphis Grizzlies, had that 40-20 game.
But that's why LeBron James...
Ja Morant is beating them. How? Why? I know why. I know why. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But just watching it, I was upset. They looked sloppy. They had 8 to 10 turnovers. I don't know the exact number, but it's somewhere between 8 to 10 in the first half. It was ridiculous. They come out in the third quarter. Okay, Lakers normally turn it on in the third quarter, and I have a problem with that too because you can't do this against good teams. So the Lakers, okay, they're down 10, 12 points at halftime. They come out the third quarter. They turn it on a little bit. They tie it up, and then now you're at 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Tie game. Lakers go up 7. They go up 7 on a 7-0 run. They have great defense over 4 minutes from the 6-minute mark of the third quarter to the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. The defense was great. Shut them down. I think, maybe scored 2 points. Maybe. Shut them down. Up 7. The last 2 minutes of the third quarter, guess what? By the fourth quarter, Memphis comes back and has tied the Lakers. Bruh. I don't understand. You got AD and LeBron, okay? You come out in the fourth quarter still looking very flat. It's nip and tuck. The Lakers go up 5, eventually at 105-100. Guess what? Next thing you know, Memphis is up 107-105. What is going on? Are you serious right now? They were about to lose. The Lakers could have very easily lost this game. Yes, it's their 7th game, 7th consecutive win. This is the second time this season that they've had a 7-game win streak. I'm not mad at the record. I'm mad at how they're playing. Now, the silver lining with all this is they're getting these tough games. They're building the camaraderie. They're building the know-how of how to win a tough game, a close game. You know, I'd rather do that early than figure it out late. So that's the silver lining. But the bad thing is, bro, you're playing Memphis, a 5-9 team coming into the night. They're now 5-10, I believe, unless that hasn't updated on what I'm looking at. But they're somewhere around 5-10, 5-11. How? It's unexcusable, bro. It's really unexcusable. I get it. Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., great rookies, great young players. You can't do this. You can't lay these eggs. You can't come out flat in the first half and expect to win every game, because when you come up against a good team, we haven't got to it yet, but when we play the Denver and the Utah game at the beginning of December, what do you think is going to happen if they come out against Utah on the second night of a back-to-back, come out the way they did, have all these turnovers, go down 15 in Utah? That's going to be – you can't – so it's good that they're getting it out of the way and they're learning how to deal with the ups and downs of the season right now, and they're learning how to pull out close games and how to win together. But when you get a good team, you can't do this. You can't. Memphis, who can't shoot threes, in the first half, they were 10 for 14, 10 for 12 from 3. They shot over 50% from 3 for the game. Memphis is ranked 27th in three-point efficiency. I don't understand how you're letting a porous team do this to you.
Look, first of all, It was a back-to-back.
Like I said, I get that. I understand back-to-backs are tougher.
Yes.
All that. LeBron didn't get his nap because they had some University of Memphis game at the FedEx Forum at 12, and the school band was out there playing in front of the arena at 10, and poor LeBron, he couldn't get his midday nap in before the game.
Like, it's a back-to-back, and if you remember, we played Memphis with the 4th or the 5th game of the season, and we murdered them. I mean, it was like
that game wasn't as close as it should have been.
No, that game was like 120-91, and John Morant had like 16 points.
Yeah.
So I expected pretty much the same thing that they probably expected, that they got a bunch of rookies, they're not that good, and we can walk all over them. And they find
Can't
themselves.
do that because where to get them down 15?
But you got to
They were
remember,
down
like
15, Kevin.
you got to remember, like it's hard to get up for these games where you're not expecting much from them. It's hard. I mean, you act like every night you wake up, you're gonna be like, all right, I'm about to go out and smash this team.
I get it. There's some days where you just don't have it, but when you look at the whole season is. I've been talking about this since episode 1, bro. Like, they come out flat in the first half. Second half, they come out strong. But tonight, they didn't even really do that. They played better in the second half.
They look tired.
But exactly. And spoilers is why I still say, and I've been saying this since the podcast has been around, November 25th against Spurs is a loss. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. I'm jumping a little bit fast.
It's not going to happen.
But this game is unexcusable to me, bro. Like,
but think about it. Look, think about it this way. We've been skating by with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? We're on a back-to-back,
right?
And we still win the game. Lakers are 14-2, best record in basketball.
Yeah, that's nice. When I look back at it at the end of the season, I'm gonna like what I see there, and I'm probably gonna have forgot about it by then. But right now, bro, the game ended 3 hours ago.
And don't forget this part. These guys have never played with each other.
It's Memphis.
They never played with each other. I mean, you're gonna tell me
Has
that
Memphis played together?
LeBron James, and Anthony Davis never played together ever before.
Has Memphis?
They get together.
Has Memphis?
And they're 14-2.
But has Memphis? You got John Morant as a rookie. Jaren Jackson is a second-year player. Jonas Valanciunas, who this was his 34th game with the Raptors with the Grizzlies. He got there from the Raptors last year. This whole core for Memphis hasn't played together.
I'm saying
when you're in the NBA, it's impressive if you're looking at it from a Memphis standpoint, but we're looking at it from a Lakers standpoint.
No, I mean, it's impressive looking at it from a Lakers standpoint. How many Laker teams in the past have actually been 14-2 to this point?
Oh, you're looking at the Lakers record. No, I'm looking at what Memphis has going against, bro. At the end of the day, what wins out in the NBA? Talent. Talent always wins. The NBA is easy to predict who's going to win, who's going to lose. Yes, there's upsets and things like that, but for the most part, you can look at the NBA and
you can say talent can win in the NBA, but the Clippers are sitting there at 11-5 right now. And
I told you this in text message. Is it me or does Doc look like he doesn't want to play Paul George and Kawhi at the same time? Because that's the vibe I get. Because he'll play them for a couple minutes here and there.
It doesn't look very good right now.
But for the most part, he'll insert one and then have the other on the bench.
Yeah, because they've been playing without each other for so long. When Paul George, in the beginning of the season, Paul George was out. And then now you have Kawhi taking days off. It's going to take time to gel. That's why it's so impressive with what the Lakers are doing, because they're 14-2, and it's like they just met. I just met you 16 games ago, and we're 14-2 on the back-to-back.
But why are you trailing
against some
to
kid
Memphis?
That's really, really good?
And that's all they got.
Look, all it takes is one basketball player. All it takes is one.
Why did Kobe not win 20 championships?
Yeah, but Kobe... Tell me,
it
Kobe
only takes one, right?
Kobe put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams when he had guys like Kwame Brown on this team that didn't want to touch the ball.
Are you purposely trying to make me like go against Kobe and play that side of things because that's hard for me. But I will if I have to.
I'm saying, look,
bro, he stopped shooting in the second half of that Game 7 against Phoenix. You thought I forgot that?
No.
I'm the biggest Kobe fan. I worship the Kobe altar. I get it. Kobe is the GOAT to me, okay? But I still, you talk to me about Game 7 against Phoenix. Bro, he was up 3-1. He got to Game 7 and was like, oh, media saying I shoot too much. I'm going to just pass it.
But
I'm going to pass it.
But he got there
you know
all
how
by
many,
himself.
You know how many field goal attempts he took in the second half? 3. Kobe took 3 field goals in the second half.
Look, all I'm saying is,
and he was 0 for 3.
All it takes is one basketball player to make a difference in the game, especially a young basketball player. It's the same thing that LeBron did. All it takes is one. I mean, I really think that kid's that good.
You're telling me Ja Morant is better than AD and LeBron?
No, but what I'm
108, 109.
What I'm telling you is
he
that
damn near beat LeBron and AD.
yes,
you're not
because
surprised.
they're not guarding him. They're not guarding him 1-on-1, but he's taking other guys off the dribble and he's just meeting them at the rim. He has a floater. He has
and
a
who
jump
does
shot.
he meet at the rim? Who does
Dwight
he
Howard
or
AD. That was pretty much it. Everyone else was behind him, and he was running.
Tonight, yeah, but normally you would throw JaVale McGee into that. So
he was on
forcing
anybody. It didn't matter who was there.
You're forcing him to the middle where that's the bread and butter of our, and he's still, bro. I'm surprised the Lakers won this game.
Yeah.
109, 108, and I watched it. Like, it was bad, bro. Oh my goodness gracious.
They have a point guard that has a floater, a jump shot, can get to the rim, is faster than everyone else in the court, and is a great passer. There's not a lot of options.
What you mean? Funnel him into the big men. You always got 2 of the 3, AD, Dwight, and McGee.
And he got around them. He's faster than them. I'm sorry, he's just a really good basketball player.
I'm not trying to say Ja Morant's garbage because I'm just as impressed as you, but for him to be on the par of AD and LeBron and almost how
many rookies do you know got a floater? How many rookies do you know have a floater?
I don't know many NBA players that got a floater.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's 20 years old. He's got a floater, a jump shot, and he can get to the rim, and he's faster than everybody else. It's like he's been working on his game since he was 2.
He still shouldn't be. What do you have tonight? He had a good game. 26 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 10 for 16 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, in 33 minutes. Overall, he was a -5. You're real big into the plus-minus. -5.
He was still good.
He was good to the eye test, I agree,
yes.
Yeah. And I like him a lot, too. But to say I am so high on him that he can single-handedly beat LeBron and AD in his rookie year.
He almost just did. He almost did.
That's the problem. That's the issue.
Look, we're not going to be facing Ja Morant every night.
No, right. But it's scary.
Our next game is against San Antonio, the old man.
DeJounte Murray, who is going to light them up.
If he's
we just saw Dennis Schroeder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Ja Morant in 3 consecutive nights. What you think DeJounte Murray is going to do? What do you think? We talked about this beforehand. What do you think DeMar DeRozan is going to do?
But that's all attributing to one player being injured, Avery Bradley.
Yes, that's the next topic. That's the perfect transition. Do you have anything else about Memphis? I don't.
No,
Okay, so that concludes
if I can watch that game again, I'm just going to focus on Ja Morant.
Okay. You can catch that on Spectrum, the Lakers Rewind. I'm sure it'll be on numerous times between now and Monday. Give them a shout out. I shouldn't really do that, but
I'm just telling you right now, he will be better than Zion.
Okay. So you lead us into the AB since you had the perfect segue to it. Yeah, all the perimeter issues can be attributed to the Avery Bradley injury.
Because Avery Bradley's our best perimeter defender, on-ball defender.
Yes.
Not zone defender, but he's the best on-ball defender, which it's a must-to-have in the West.
You need that hound, yeah.
Yeah, because there's too many guards in the West.
Just to make life difficult.
Yeah, and I don't expect him to like...
I caught you saying yeah.
Mr. Antics himself. But anyways, Avery Bradley, the smart defender that he is, Since he's been out, and I think he's going to be out about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's been out, all the smaller guards have been wrecking life on the Lakers. All of them.
I agree.
And I'm sure every team in the NBA right now knows the only way to beat the Lakers is to take them off the dribble.
Yeah, don't go inside because the big men, you ain't. Unless you're a physical bruising center, you're not doing anything inside against the Lakers. And that's why we want to talk about this because, as you just said, since Avery Bradley's been gone, everybody's been lighting him up. And I don't think as Laker fans we really acknowledged or appreciated everything Avery Bradley was doing when we saw him. Yeah, we gave him some love. Yeah, we recognized, but we really didn't fully understand what he was bringing to the table on the defensive end of the ball. And now with him out, we're seeing it.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Let's put it this way. Let's thank God that he'll be back before we play a team like Houston. Because I can only imagine what Russell Westbrook would do to us.
Yeah, it's great that we got him out at the early stages when we can kind of weather it, and even though we're only beating freaking, don't think I'm cussing, Memphis by one, it's not the right, like you said, you put it perfectly. Thank God we're without him now and not later,
Yeah, because we're coming up on a road trip where we play Utah, Denver.
We have Dallas at home, so it's at home, so it helps a little bit. But have you seen Doncic lately?
Yeah.
That dude is scary, man.
He's been lighting it up.
He's second year in the league, and he's in the MVP discussion. I've been following the NBA for 20 years now. I've never seen that. Not a player in their second year.
No,
LeBron in his second year was not an MVP discussion.
No. But, oof.
I'm sure it's happened somewhere over the course of history, but...
Who got drafted in front of him?
DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, they made a mistake.
There was Marvin Bagley. They
made a mistake, too.
Doncic went third.
Marvin Bagley?
Yeah. To Sacramento. Doncic went third to Atlanta, but Atlanta traded him to Dallas for Trae Young and a future first-round pick.
What? Wait, Sacramento?
Sacramento took Bagley. Phoenix took Ayton.
Don't they have Vlade?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's president.
He messed up.
Yeah.
He messed up. I always felt like he had a keen eye for foreign players.
Yeah. He was real high on Doncic as well, but I think it was I'm not sure, but I think it was the owners wouldn't let him. I know Shaq is a minority owner. He owns like 10% of the Kings, but I think the majority owner was like not willing to take a risk on the Europeans because that's the real thing as far as NBA owners. Like they don't want to.
I don't get it though, but the NBA is pushing closer and closer all the time to European basketball.
And I think Doncic is really what is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Mm.
And I think now that people are seeing how real Doncic is, I think he's going to make it less of a taboo thing. Because that's the reason. I feel like that's the reason the Lakers didn't take Porzingis and why they took D'Lo, because European. Now the Knicks took him at 4, and he made an All-Star team his second year, but he wasn't in the MVP race. Doncic is a legit 15 games into the season. Doncic is a real MVP candidate.
If you had your choice right now, would you take D'Lo or would you take Porzingis?
I'm going D'Lo.
It's because of the injuries?
That's a bit of it, but I'm also I'm in love with D'Lo's passing ability because they can both score pretty much at the same pace. Porzingis, as you said, has the injury history. He's a 7-footer. I don't think his body is necessarily going to hold up the standard time. D'Lo is more fit for the modern NBA as a guard who can ball handle, pass, shoot, and dribble. And when people forget, when D'Lo was drafted, he was compared to Magic. He wasn't drafted as a scorer. He was drafted as a passer who could score. Now, when we look at his career, he's a scorer who could pass, is vice versa. But when he was coming out of Ohio State, he was more looked at as a passer.
That's true.
So that's why I would go D'Lo, just because he's more versatile, because that passing puts him over the top. Neither one of them are going to play a lick of defense. But D'Lo's a much better passer.
D'Lo has been getting... No, I'm just leave that. I'm going to leave it right there. I've seen his defensive stats.
Yeah, he gets cooked defensively.
Yeah.
I'm sure Porzingis does too, though.
Yeah. Oh,
especially now after the injury.
After the injury, yeah, he looks slow.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't average as many blocks. He used to get a lot of blocks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Avery Bradley is really affecting the perimeter defense. A lot of guards are going off against the Lakers. And we basically can't do anything about it except throw our hands up and say, well, when are you coming back? So that's
we're
that.
Outscore everybody. That's what we're doing.
Not with the 109 points. Not with the 109 points, we're not.
Like the Lakers have a day off. It should make a difference. They can go out, get something to eat, catch a movie, whatever it takes.
LeBron, catch your nap, bro, since you didn't get that today.
Like, we're playing the Spurs next. We're good. We're good.
We'll get back to it. A couple minutes. AD's shoulder, he came up a little bit gimpy tonight, and that was an issue earlier in the season. And he, during the Phoenix game, got elbowed in the ribs and had to miss the Warriors game. But tonight, he kind of got sandwiched in between two players going out for a rebound, and he was slow making his way back up the court, and you can see him reaching for his right shoulder and kind of grimacing a bit. How scary is that to you, or how much are you worried about it?
You know, since the beginning of the season, I've said his entire career with the Lakers, he's going to be injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be almost injured, somewhat injured, halfway injured, hurt, arm, leg. You just have to get used to it. It seemed like it was that way when he was in New Orleans, and it's that way now.
Surprisingly, even though he has this big reputation of always being injured and whatnot, surprisingly, there's been a couple seasons where he's played 70-plus games, and a few other where he's played 65. There's really only been about, if you throw out last year, because we all know that New Orleans stopped playing him because they wanted to preserve his trade value. If you look at the first 6 seasons, there was a couple where he played 70, a couple where he played 65, and then I think the most he missed in one season was 14. So it's been hyped up a lot, I feel. It's been hyped up a lot more than what it actually is.
Well, another reason I feel like he was injured in New Orleans, well, this is only the skeptic in me.
Yeah.
New Orleans Pelicans and the New Orleans Saints had the same owner.
Mm-hmm. The Bennetts.
Yes. And they were both using the same training staff. Now, you both you and I know you were either an expert in football, or you were an expert in basketball.
You're using different muscles, doing different workouts. Your body's getting hit,
yes,
and is affected different ways. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, but the owners of the Pelicans have always been considered cheap.
But look, I don't know which ones they're better at, but I know you have Zion Williamson now.
And he's hurt.
Yes. You better figure it out.
Yeah.
And AD was hurt all the time.
I think they're better at football because if you look at Drew Brees, he got that torn ligament in his thumb in week 2.
They got him back.
And they got him back, and now how old is Drew Brees? 40, 41? He's at least pushing 40. So I think their specialty is football. And football's a bigger sport down there too because it's South. And I think they're better at football. And the basketball is just kind of we'll pay you a little bit extra. Go take care of this too. But I completely agree. But at the same time, when you look at AD's injury history, yeah, there's been a few, and it's been more hyped up in the media. but he really hasn't missed that many games year to year.
Well, every time he's going back to the back, he comes back out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he's getting a Toradol shot, but he comes back out. He looks fine.
Yeah.
Continues playing. I mean, he's got that motor we talked about before. He never stops going. I mean, tonight I think LeBron James missed a shot. He came back and followed it up, and he flew. I was like, oh wow, he looked like a guard.
I mean, he's very impressive, but it scares me a lot. Like to see him grimacing and constantly at the shoulders. Like I don't doubt that he can play through it, but it's a lot like when I first saw Kobe start grabbing at his shoulder, and then he continually started playing through it. And 2-3 years later, like of playing through it, he's like now he tore his rotator cuff. Yeah. You know, it's like I appreciate and I love AD for doing that because I don't want him to sit because I know that if he sits, we're not
gonna win.
Yeah. We need him. And just saying for LeBron, if LeBron sits, we don't have a chance. So I'm applauding him for playing through it, but long term, it's scaring the hell out of me.
Yeah, because in the day of load management, there's not a lot of players that are playing back-to-back.
Yeah.
Not a lot of star players.
And AD goes all out every play. Not every game. He goes out every play. How many times have we seen AD on the floor? Constantly throughout the season, diving for loose balls, diving for rebounds. Like, he has no chill. So it's crazy to me. Like, and when I see it, I get worried. Because I kind of see the whole season flashing through my eyes at that point. Like, it really puts a fear in me having put all our eggs into this basket, for lack of a better term.
Well, it tells you that he's not taking the season for granted.
Oh, no, he's serious about it, yeah.
Yeah, because he could easily come over here and say, oh, you know what?
Look, I'm a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm about to chill. I'm going to get my money, and then kind of like CP3, yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm worried about it. I don't know how you Laker fans out in public feel. But let's just hope and pray that he doesn't have an extended injury. I'm fine with him missing a game here and there.
Yeah.
You can expect that. But let's hope he doesn't have an extended injury that lasts a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever the case may be. You know? All right. So let's wrap it up and let's look ahead at next week. We kind of got a little bit into it. They have San Antonio on Monday. They have New Orleans just after that, and I believe the next game will be Washington at home.
That's a garbage game.
Yeah.
That team's just garbage.
I got them going 2-1. I'm going to just throw that out there right now. My loss is against San Antonio coming up Monday, and what a coincidence. When was their last loss? After a 7-game win streak. What did they have now? A 7-game win streak. They just look tired. They just look like they got outplayed by a single player, apparently, Ja Morant, who is super rookie. I mean, I don't know where this came from, but...
Super.
Yeah. I got him going 2-1. What you got him going, Kevin?
I got him going 3-0.
3-0 again. Second week in a row. So you got them running the running streak up to 10. I think they'll go 2-1. They'll win back 2. The AD is going back to New Orleans. I think he's going to be hyped up for that. Big game. Well, I also do think B.I. is going to have a big game.
Yeah. He was.
Zoe is going to try, but I mean, Zoe is.
I think he's injured though.
Is he really? I hope not.
Yeah, he's injured.
Yeah, and then lastly, Josh Hart. We don't want to forget him because he was pretty butthurt and salty that he got traded, and I actually did like him as a Laker.
I really like.
I liked what he brought to the table. I thought he could have been a nice role play off the bench, 7-8 man.
You know, he said something though that it sort of bothered me.
What's that?
Because he said when he first got to the Lakers, you know, they told him to play a certain way, so he prepared in the offseason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Then he found out, you know, the next year he was preparing the same way to be even better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, oh, I found out we got LeBron, and then everything changed. He's like, so I went from attacking the basket to having to shoot 3-pointers. And I was forced to make adjustments to my game midway through the season. He's like, it didn't work out too well. I didn't shoot the three as well as I could. But it rubbed me the wrong way because he said, I was forced to make mid-season adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so what you're telling me is that you can't make mid-season adjustments.
Right.
And you're in the NBA. You're not a star player. You can get cut. You can get traded
You're
to another
supposed to be
team.
working on everything in your game.
So it didn't, although it didn't bother me that much, it just made me feel like he can't make adjustments.
Right. Well, a few things. I've never heard that statement that he said.
It was in a podcast.
Yeah.
So,
his lighthearted podcast or whatever. Because I know he has his own podcast.
I think it was someone else's.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard on his podcast he had Zoe in there with him. It was kind of like co-host or whatever, and they were chopping it up. And Zoe was talking about Lithuania. And when Jello and Mello were there, and Zoe, I guess, went out there one time to visit him. And Zoe made a comment that Lithuania was just like dark and cloudy and gloomy. And Josh Hart looked at him without skipping a beat, and he was like, "Oh, you mean kind of like LA?" And it went over Zoe's head because Zoe was from here, and Zoe was like, "Nah, I don't know. Like the weather is great in LA." And Josh looked at him like, "No, I'm talking about the organization." And then that's when Zoe was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I get you." So that's the comment that I heard in the summer that really stuck out on me. And if you want to see it, it's on Lighthearted Podcast on YouTube. But he was really throwing some shade at the Lakers. And I'm just like, dude, like, we loved you when, like, you were a fan favorite when you were here. Like, why? I get it. You might be salty that now you have to live in New Orleans, but poor baby. Like,
look, like I said, if you are on a rookie deal, or you are not a star player.
He was the last pick of the first round. Like, bro, you should not be
keep
like.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
It's in your best interest because other teams could take a look at that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't doubt that he's going to be fired up when the Lakers play, but just the superstar that AD is, it means a lot more to him as that was home to him for 7 years, and they're probably realistically going to boo him. So I think Lakers are going to have that one easy. And Washington at home. They better win that because it's right before a road trip. A very tough road trip that we'll talk about next week. But I got them going 2-1. I still think San Antonio is going to be too much. It's San Antonio at home. And Kevin looks at me like, dude, like, are you serious? And I say, DeJounte Murray, what have we seen the last 3 point guards do to us?
Yeah, but we've seen the last 3 point guards rip us up, and we still won those games.
Yeah, but that's not San Antonio with Greg Popovich and San Antonio and the.
They just went on a 7-game losing streak, 8-game losing streak, and they beat the Knicks.
Yeah, and
that tells you where Popovich is.
And now they're ready to come back and beat the Lakers. So let's get it going. I'm sorry, I'm not cheering for a win. I hope I'm wrong.
Popovich like he's ready to retire. He's like, you know what? Come on and take this team. I don't even care.
Becky Hammon.
Yeah.
Because that's who next. She gonna be the first female coach in the NBA.
She's gonna be a good coach.
Yeah.
But that team is not beating us. I'm sorry. If we lose to San Antonio, losing to San Antonio would be worse than losing to the Memphis Grizzlies. Because at least with the Memphis Grizzlies, you can say, you know what? They got a young superstar, a young budding superstar. With San Antonio, they just look so
Kevin,
slow.
Kevin, you didn't just say that, bro.
Yes, I did. They look so slow. There's not. They're one of the worst teams I've seen. I watched 2 of their games, and they can't even score. They have no scoring options. You have Aldridge, yeah, but they have a hard time scoring.
I'm going to leave that one alone because we try to keep it short. I'm sure I'll holler at you at some point between now and next Saturday about it.
When you watch that game, you'll be like, yeah, they're terrible. Watch one of their games.
I'm not saying San Antonio is good, but I just think it's about time for the Lakers to drop one. And I've been saying this for 2 weeks now, that was the game where it's like they're going to lose. Not that I want them to, but I'm just being realistic with y'all. Like, that's how I feel. So Kevin has them 3-0 again. Run the win streak to 10. I have them at 2-1. And yeah, after that, schedule gets harder.
Schedule gets a whole hell of a lot harder. That's why. I mean, I think we can. I
They
really
better
believe we
stack
can
up
win.
on these wins now.
Yeah, I believe we can win those 3 games. But after that, they're going to drop a game.
All right.
They're going to drop a game.
I don't believe they're going to win, as I keep reiterating. So I'll leave this to y'all in the comments. If you agree with me or Kevin, let us know. And we'll be back with you guys next week to see how we did. And yeah, that's all we got for tonight. You got anything else, Kevin?
No, I think that was good. You know?
All right, for sure. Everybody have a good night, good weekend, good week. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and go ahead and comment down below. We also have a Twitter account that Kevin and I are going to be sharing this for the channel itself. That Twitter account handle is called the Purple and Gold Hoops Podcast, or PGH Podcast 1 with the number 1 at the end. So if you guys want to interact with us during the week, go ahead and hit us up there. And Kevin and I will continue. We'll start to interact with you guys throughout the week to let you know our thoughts or not. The way that's going to work, if you see a tweet that has a K at the end, a dash and a K, that's Kevin saying it. If you see a tweet that has a dash and an A at the end, that's me saying it. That's kind of our way of signing it and taking accountability for what we say. But yeah, keep tuned and hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
Man.